Hello everyone, this is Shannon from That's So Po, and today I'm here to do a review of The Return of the Sorceress by Silvia Moreno-Garcia. This is Silvia Moreno-Garcia's newest release. It is a novella that is really so full of a great plot, a lot of very interesting magic, and just some really interesting characters. So this novella is set in a Mesoamerican inspired fantasy world. And in this world, we follow Yelshi. She is an incredibly powerful sorceress, and in fact, was the mistress of the Guild of Sorcerers until she was just recently betrayed and deposed. Now she is fighting to survive and also wants to regain her power and her place at the top of the guild. And to do so, she might need to do some pretty dark magic. Content warnings are in the description box below. So now let me talk about what I love so much about this novella, beginning with the world building and the magic. I really enjoyed everything about that in this story. So this is a sword and sorcery style fantasy novella. Silvia Moreno-Garcia writes novels in all sorts of different subgenres, and this is the first one I think that she's done in sword and sorcery. Sword and sorcery is sort of focused very specifically on a hero's journey, really looking at action and magic and romance, everything from this one person's perspective and what they're trying to do, their personal journey. So we definitely have that here. We're focused very heavily on Yelshi, and she's trying to regain power, and this is her journey. But there's also a lot of internal stuff going on too. And the world around her is filled with a lot of fascinating things, lots of people out to get her, lots of kind of politics and court intrigue, and lots of magic as well. The other thing about the world building and magic that I love so much is that it is very Mesoamerican culture and history and folklore inspired. So there's so much in this that makes you very much feel like you're in this Mesoamerican world. Things like the city, the main city where the guilds are, is something that is built on a swamp, and you have buildings that are maybe kind of sinking in where it wasn't done quite correctly. And I believe that Mexico City was built on a swamp. And you have things like the magic system. The magic is built very much on blood magic and on sacrifice, and a lot of that is relating back to some of the practices of things like the Aztecs. So I just loved the way that this fantasy world was built. The next thing I loved about this story was the animal companion. So in this story, Yelshi has something called a Nahual, which is, again, a kind of traditional Mesoamerican mythological creature. I'll link a Wikipedia article about it below, but basically it's a shapeshifter. And throughout the story, this Nahual is somebody who can give a little bit of magic in return for some blood sacrifice to Yelshi, and the Nahual keeps changing shapes. And so it will be a dog or a cat or a bird or a fox, and it's constantly talking to Yelshi. It acts really to bring a lot of humor and a lot of lightness to a kind of darker story, and the connection between Yelshi and this sort of constantly hungry and a little bit petty and sometimes nagging animal companion is just so much fun. And the way that the Nahual acts as a little bit of her conscience at times and brings back a lot of memories of her past, I thought was just so well done. The next thing I loved is Yelshi herself, who is definitely an unlikable female protagonist. Yelshi is someone who is kind of an anti-hero. She is extremely power hungry, very ambitious. Everything that matters to her is her own power and success, and her ability to control magic. And the way that we learn about who she is and what she has done and all of the ways that she has lied and betrayed and killed in order to get her power is fascinating. I really liked her character. I think that Silvia Moreno-Garcia does these kind of unlikable female protagonists really well. May not work for everybody, but for me, I just really loved to see who she was and what she was willing to do for power and kind of what her journey in this story was. And lastly, I thought that the way that this story used Yelshi's journey to explore questions of power and ambition was just so well done. I really liked how the story slowly unfolded Yelshi's past, as well as integrating into what she was currently doing to regain her power, to examine the cost of power, to examine what that means, to examine how it affects you, and to look at what we should be willing to do for power and kind of what we might lose because of it. I also just really loved the way that the discussion of power and ambition made a really great plot arc, made something that was a true journey for the main character. And I just thoroughly enjoyed this discussion of ambition and power. Overall, I think that The Return of the Sorceress is just such a great fantasy novella with excellent, really cool world building and magic, a wonderful anti-hero protagonist, and just such a great journey for her to go through. If you guys have read this book, or if you have read anything else that you'd like to talk to me about, if you want to read this, anything at all, just leave me a comment down below.